Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to replace an outlet. So I have an outlet here and I want to replace it because it is backstabbed. Basically that means they took the wires and they just backstabbed it in the back of it, and it's got a thin like metal clip that just holds the wire in place, and I want to replace that because it can cause fires, it can loosen over time. Plus these outlets right here that we have are super cheap and easy to break, and I'll show you that in this video. But first thing you want to do is check the power. As you can see, there's power, and plus also this outlet is kind of loose, like the connection's loose. So if you have an outlet that's got like a really poor connection, you can replace it. So these two lights actually mean that it's wired correctly, and you can read it on the top here, and it'll tell you if the ground's reversed or if the neutral's reversed. It'll tell you all that on this plug. Oh, that was weird. Only one light lit up for a second there. But you also can test to see if there's power by just plugging in a lamp or a charger. Just plug this in, and then we want to go find the breaker, which I already know which one it is. Excuse the mess, gonna clean it up later, but anyways, this one right here should be as you can see, no power. Then we can start working on it. So take the screw out. I already replaced the face plate. I had to get a screw to hold a different faceplate, and I was just like, I'll just replace this. Alright, a 2 usually works here for me. Yeah, I also have a voltage tester. I have a wire tracer and a voltage tester. And you can put this in the hot on this side, and you can see that there's no voltage. You also could use like a voltage tester to make sure there's no voltage. The ground, nothing. There should be nothing anyways. And as you can see how cheap these are, there's a piece of plastic from it, and some receptacles for backstabbing. Oh wow, it's pretty long, but like you're supposed to like stick something in there and then you're able to release it, but it's super difficult and like impossible to do. Some other ones have like it's more of a square. Where did I put the other screwdriver? Oh, it's right there. Yeah, but like you take a flathead and you would put it in the hole next to it and it would release. Those actually do work, but I don't have that. It's just so old, and the cheapest one they could find, because it has no screw terminals, which isn't great at all. So what we want to do here is actually disconnect the ground wire. Get that out of the way. And just take it all the way out. I just here use Phillips, that'll work better. So to release these wires, you could cut them, but if you cut them, then you lose length on your wires, and then you'll have to like strip them. And I have a set of strippers here. Here's a wire stripper, but hopefully I won't need that. But here's a screwdriver. This is how easy it is to break these, so this is why I'm replacing them. Just like that. Didn't take that much force, and I just pretty much broke the whole receptacle. They're super cheap. That's why I'm replacing them. And to release them, I'm just gonna use these clips. It's super easy to break this one, so it's faster to break them than try to get something small enough to go in that hole, because that's how terrible they are. Now, depending on your receptacle, you might have different wires. I think some have red and white, but red would be hot and white is usually always neutral. Get this released here. There we go. Now, let's see. Now I get this outlet right here, and well, receptacle, because it has back and side wire. So I like the back wiring, because for back wiring, so on this new one right here, you can see these plates behind the screw. All you have to do is just feed the straight wire into here and then tighten the screw terminal down, and that plate will tighten right down and keep the wire in place. And you also can do a hook around the screw terminal, which you'd have to take a pair of like pliers, and you want your hook to go around counterclockwise. But I'm just going to use back wire because I like back wire and it's fast and easy. And you can, there's also, like, if you don't know how much wire you need, there's a strip gauge on here. It's really hard to see, but it's like right here, and these are plenty long enough. And then when you're hooking up the new receptacle, this is the hot side, so the gold screws or the bronze screws are the hot side, and then like the silver screws is the neutral side. So we have our two neutrals right here and our two hots, and then that's the ground wire. So we'll go ahead and do the ground wire first. I find it easier to do the ground wire first, and you'll have to do a hook around the ground wire. The ground wire doesn't have one of those plates, so you want it to be counterclockwise, which is what it is, because when you have it counterclockwise, it'll tighten it down. Usually one thing I like to do is I'll take the ground screw completely out. Just find it easier. Take that out, and then I'm gonna take a pair of pliers, needle nose pliers, and like you can close the gap, and then I don't want to lose that ground screw. Let's see. Trying to make the hook as tight as possible. maybe I ought to straighten this out and make a whole nother hook. The hook wasn't very good to begin with. That hook ought to work. Alright, so just go ahead and I just like taking the whole screw out, and then I can just screw it right back in. Sometimes it's a little hard to screw it back in, and you don't want to lose the screw, obviously. Come on, there we go. There we go. Yeah, you always want to do counterclockwise because then it'll tighten the wire around the screw as you're tightening it down. There we go. It's under there nice and firm. And we'll go ahead and wire the hot side first. So you could put two wires underneath the screw terminal, because some you'll have 3 black wires. I don't think you'll ever see 4. I don't think you should see 4, but you could put 2 of the wires underneath each screw terminal, but I'm just gonna do 1. So the wire is a little bit long, so I could trim it just a little bit. So take our wire cutters here, cut that off. Now if you don't have enough wire, then I wouldn't really suggest trimming it, but I have plenty of wire, so tighten it down, make sure it's not gonna move anywhere. Now I could have put this one on the other side, but I just like to use both screw terminals. Take this. This one's probably a little long too, this wire. It's like super long. Look at that. Let's see. Don't know why they had to make them so long. They stripped them a little long. There we go. Tighten that down. Alright, so we'll go to the other side. And the neutral wires are a little shorter. I could trim a little bit off of the neutral wires. I'll just take a little bit off. There we go. See, I'll show you an example like this. You can just do this and tighten them both down like that. But I'm just gonna do one at a time because I don't need to do it because I don't have 3 wires. I like to use both screw terminals because I paid for it, so I might as well use both of them. Nah, I don't know. I just don't like holding two wires and then having to screw it down. Just easier just to screw one down at a time for me. I mean, it's not that hard, obviously, but... Oh! And there we go. So some people might have their ground up. So it would be up. Some people will have it down. It doesn't really matter. I guess it's just preference. I can't speak. Basically, the only upside to having it this way is if something falls on a plug, it'll hit the ground before it hits the hot and the neutral. So in that case, you know, it wouldn't cause like arcing or like a fire. But really, it doesn't matter. Most of the time, your plugs will be plugged all the way in anyways, so the metal prongs shouldn't be exposed anyways. So do one more test, make sure all the wires are good, do a little pull test, make sure that nothing comes loose, and then you just want to shove everything back in the box. And usually what I'll do is I'll try to shove it in a little bit before I start to screw it in. And depending on how many wires you have, it'll determine how much force you'll have to apply to push those wires back in. But the screws will do the most of the work for you. Just hopefully your screw terminals don't strip. I had that happen before and I had to replace the whole box, and that wasn't fun, but it's probably better than some other boxes. Some people's boxes are nailed and ours are screwed, so that's good. The nailed ones you gotta like cut out and everything, and it's just pain in the butt. It's just pain in the butt in general. I don't want to replace an outlet box. I mean, I could have used an electric drill here, but I didn't. Alright. It's all good. Put the plate back on. Alright, so we'll find our other screwdriver here. And there we go. It's that easy. And where's our outlet tester? Somewhere. Oh, there it is. Right now there's still no power, obviously. But you can see it already has a firm connection now. Look at that. It's not coming out very easily. Goes in there tight. Alright, we'll turn on the power. And we wired it correctly. You also could have like a voltage tester. Here we go. So this side's hot, this side's neutral. So put the red in the neutral, the hot, and black into neutral. Now I'm gonna get in the gates. There we go. Just see 120 volts. Then you can test from hot to ground. Get in the gates there. Come on. Can't get the ground to work. I don't know why I can't get the ground to work. Well, anyways, you can test it from ground. Usually it works. I don't know why it's not working. But yeah, that's how you replace an outlet. That's that easy. And this thing can also check for GFCIs. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you learned something new. And hopefully now you can be able to replace your outlets if you ever need to. And it's that simple. And if you have any questions or concerns, then let me know. I learned this off of YouTube myself, so I mean, I'm not 100% an expert, but that's how you replace an outlet. I've replaced majority of them in this house because they're a piece of junk and they need to be replaced, and backstabs can cause fires, so I'm not going to take that chance. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.